Welcome to Mount Vernon Unitarian Church. I'm the Reverend Christian Schmidt, the interim minister of this congregation, and today I'm inviting you to a special service in which we review some of the wonderful pageants we've had over the years here. We're meeting today in person at church for our live pageant this year, and we're filming that, so it'll be available later. But today we wanted to share some of the best of pageants over the years and what we're calling a retro pageant. You'll see some of the greatest things we've ever done here, and it'll be a really special experience. I want to welcome you. This is a welcoming congregation. We invite people of all sorts to come worship with us each Sunday and to be a part of this congregation. To know more about us, check out our website at mvuc.org, sign up for our email list, or just come and check us out. We're excited to have you here, and we also welcome you to our service for Christmas Eve on December 24th at 5 p.m. It will be both in person and virtual on our YouTube channel. So welcome, enjoy the pageant, enjoy all the wonderful things we've done over the years, and know that you are loved and that you are welcome here.
At times, our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person.
Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude for those who have lighted the flame within us. Albert Schweitzer. peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my song of love. To take each moment and live each moment in peace
I invite you now, from wherever you may be, to bring your voices out in reciting our covenant as the words are found on your screen. Love is the teaching of this church. The quest of truth is its daily task, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve life in community, to the end that all souls shall grow in harmony. This is our covenant with each and with all.
A Gift from the Lonely Doll, story and photographs by Dare Wright. Christmas is coming, said Edith. How soon? Asked Little Bear. In 3 weeks and 4 days, said Mr. Bear. And we're going to the country for the holidays. Where? Asked Edith. To visit my cousins, Charles and Albert, said Mr. Bear. How? Asked Little Bear. On a train, said Mr. Bear. When? Asked Edith. The week before Christmas, said Mr. Bear. We'd better start getting ready for Christmas, Little Bear, said Edith. I'm going to knit Mr. Bear a fine woolly muffler to wear in the country. I bet you don't know how to knit, said Little Bear. I do too, and a present you make yourself is nicer than a present bought, said Edith. So Edith went shopping. She bought 2 long needles. She bought a skein of yarn as white as snow, and she bought a skein of yarn as red as holly berries. She asked Little Bear to help her wind the yarn. I want to see you knit, said Little Bear. It's going to be a striped muffler, said Edith. I want to see you knit, said Little Bear. Edith surprised him. She did know how. She knitted 1 row and 2 rows and 3 rows, and in no time she knitted a whole inch of muffler. Every day the muffler grew, except for the days when it ungrew. One day Edith dropped a stitch and had to unravel a whole stripe. One day, Little Bear borrowed her needles to make flagpoles for his railway. Another stripe unraveled. Edith had a basket to keep her knitting hidden in, all but the end she was working on. Of course, she could never knit when Mr. Bear was anywhere around. Isn't the muffler ever going to get finished? Asked Little Bear when 2 weeks had gone by. Of course, said Edith, in time for Christmas. But what if you're making it too long? Asked Little Bear. I am not, said Edith. Let's measure how long it is, urged Little Bear. Oh no, objected Edith. What if I took it all out of the basket at once and Mr. Bear walked in? Every time Mr. Bear was especially nice to her, Edith knitted another stripe. When she was a little naughty, she knitted another stripe. She wasn't finished when they left for the country. "Do you have to take that basket along, Edith?" inquired Mr. Bear. "Yes, I do," said Edith. Cousin Charles Bear and Cousin Albert Bear met them at the station. They looked so much like Mr. Bear that Edith loved them on sight. The house was warm and cozy. The fields were deep in snow. There were all kinds of things for Edith and Little Bear to do. They went sledding on the hills. They skated on the pond. They chose their own Christmas tree in the woods. On Christmas Eve, they helped to trim it. When the last ornament was in place, "Off to bed, Edith and Little Bear," said Charles. "We have secrets and surprises to arrange," said Albert. So Edith and Little Bear went to bed, but they didn't stay there. "Is that muffler finished?" asked Little Bear. "As soon as I put fringe on the end," said Edith. "I want to see all of it," insisted Little Bear. He began pulling. More and more muffler came out of the basket. It reached all across the room. "Too long," said Little Bear. "I told you so." "It is not too long," said Edith stubbornly. "It's just long enough to keep Mr. Bear very, very warm." And she wrapped the muffler in tissue paper and ribbon and crept down in the dark to put it under the tree. Christmas morning came at last with wonderful surprises for everyone from everyone. Edith's favorite present was a soft, fuzzy hood. Little Bear's was a horn that made a very loud noise. Then Edith couldn't wait any longer. "Open that one, Mr. Bear. It's from me," she said. "It's a muffler," exclaimed Mr. Bear. "I made it myself," said Edith. "A hand-knit muffler. How warm it looks. I must try it on right now," said Mr. Bear. He wrapped it around his neck, and there was rather a lot left over. He wrapped some more. Even when he was wrapped from head to foot, there was still some muffler left over. "I told you so, Edith," said Little Bear. "And look, there's a hole in it." "Oh dear," said Edith. "That just proves it's handmade. It's the most beautiful muffler in the whole world," declared Mr. Bear. "It certainly is," agreed Charles and Albert. But Edith wasn't really comforted. She thought about Mr. Bear's muffler all day, even when wearing her lovely new hood, indoors and out, didn't comfort her. Listening to Little Bear blow his horn triumphantly and shout, "What's too long and full of holes?" didn't comfort her a bit. Dressing up for Christmas dinner didn't comfort her. "You were right all along about Mr. Bear's muffler, Little Bear," she said sadly. "Oh, well, Mr. Bear likes it," said Little Bear. "But I wanted it to be perfect," said Edith. "Edith, you aren't eating your dinner," said Mr. Bear. "I'm not hungry. It's because I spoiled your muffler. It's no good," said Edith. "Why, that muffler's the nicest present anyone ever gave me," Mr. Bear said. "It's a splendid muffler," said Albert Bear. "I wish I had one just like it," declared Charles Bear. It's not such a bad muffler, said Little Bear. You don't have to cry. So Edith stopped crying and thought instead, and she had an idea. When dinner was finished, she whispered to Mr. Bear. All right, Mr. Bear whispered back, but I do hate giving up even an inch of my muffler. Hey, what are you gonna do? Asked Little Bear. Fix everything, said Edith. And that's just what she did. She took the scissors and she cut Mr. Bear's muffler up into 3 mufflers. She sewed the ends so they wouldn't ravel. She even mended the hole. Cousin Charles and Cousin Albert, announced Edith, I have something for you. Look, mufflers. Mufflers for us too, cried Charles and Albert. I made them from part of Mr. Bear's, and they're just the right length, said Edith happily. What a muffler, said Albert. What mufflers you mean, exclaimed Charles. We'll think of you every time we wear them, Edith, said Albert. And we'll wear them a great deal, said Charles. They were wearing them proudly when the day came for Mr. Bear and Edith and Little Bear to go home. Mr. Bear's muffler wasn't a bit too long, said Edith. Not a bit, agreed Little Bear sweetly. Not a bit. Edith looked at him affectionately. Not for 3 bears, added Little Bear. The end. Mount Vernon Unitarian Church's production of A Mall and the Night Visitors, December 24th, 2014. Ben Whelan Morin, Caspar. James Hewitt, Melchior. Ron Brandt, Balthazar. Angel Collins, Mother. Chris Hewitt, A Mall. The MVUC Choir. And Dr. Yvonne Ng, piano. Earlier in our story, 3 kings have stopped to rest on their way to see the newborn Christ child. They are guests in a poor woman's house where she lives with her child, Amal. As the kings tell her of this wondrous boy they seek, she cannot help but think of her own child, who is wondrous in her own eyes, even though he is poor and unable to walk without a crutch. As the kings begin to leave, she has a change of heart.
Let us leave, my friends.
No, please. He can't. Oh, such a peace. I waited all night. And if I were so poor, I would send a gift of my own. Oh, such a child. But mother, let me sit in my crutch. Who knows? He may need one. Send myself. Which cat? I walk, mother. I walk, mother.
We walk. He walks. He walks.
Look, mother, I can't dance. I can't jump. I can't run.
You can't dance, you can't jump, you can't run.
Please, my boy, be careful now. You must take care to bring yourself.
Oh, good
rush to the child myself.
Yes, good woman, let him come with us. We'll take good care of him. We'll bring him back on a camel's back.
Do you really want to go? Yes, Mother. Are you sure, sure, sure? I'm sure. Oh, my darling, goodbye. I shall miss you very much, very much. For sure, he said that
Hi, everyone. Thanks for inviting me to the ET meeting. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad that you're going to make a video for the pageant. I heard that there was a problem or an issue.
Well, yes, we don't know where to put all the llamas. There's 5 of them, and that's more than expected.
Llamas?
Yep, because we're doing a live nativity scene, and we put out word that we were looking for live animals, and my cousin volunteered 5 llamas.
We put them in the turkey shed with the iguana, but they don't really want to go there.
And why is there an iguana in the turkey shed?
Well, we got it from one of those animal rescue places to be a part of the pageant.
Oh, I didn't know there was an iguana in the barn with Mary and Joseph and Jesus.
We didn't know that there was either, but we don't know that there wasn't either. We thought the kids would like it. That's before we found out we'd have to pay extra for the iguana handler.
I don't know what to say. There's so much there. Okay, all right. Let's just go back to the original question. You need a place for 5 llamas on the hill. Have you thought of the garage?
Well, we've got 2 tractors jammed in there, and we have to be able to get in to measure them. I don't think there'll be room enough.
Plus, I've been talking with Derek, and he's not willing to shovel up any more animal waste, especially after the camels spitting everywhere.
Camels? Now, I can imagine them in a nativity scene. You guys can do anything. You are so cool.
Now, we wish we had 3 of them for each of the kings, but we've only got 1. We had to get leased tractors for the other 2.
I'm sewing camel costumes for the tractors, and Balthazar and Melchior are driving them.
That's why Casper gets to ride the camel. She doesn't have a driver's license.
I might. I'm playing Casper, and I really don't want to ride a camel after what happened to Derek. I'm taking driver's license now, and I'm hoping to be driving tractors before the pageant time.
Well, I guess that explains the tractor measurements if you're making costumes for them.
Exactly. Also, the piles of fake fur in the center office. It takes a lot of fake fur to cover a tractor, let alone 2.
I say we take advantage of the fact that we finally got a new floor in the dining room of Holland Hall. No more carpet. We can put the llamas in there, and they'll be easier for Derek to clean up after.
Well, after he gets out of the hospital, that is.
What, the hospital?
Oh yeah, we were so worried, but he seems to be doing much better now. Not everyone can survive a serious camel accident the way he did.
He's such a helpful person. You see, he was holding this very heavy glitter star and balancing on top of the ladder when there was, well, I guess you'd call it a donkey stampede. That scared the camel, and before you knew it...
Wait, hold it. I don't think I want to hear any more.
I really think Derek is doing much better. We've been taking turns visiting him in the hospital and taking him food.
Well, I'm sure he appreciates that.
He seems to. I brought him a meatloaf he really liked, but he said it would really be more satisfying if it were camel meat.
How about the chapel? That floor is not carpeted and there's plenty of room.
Remember, we have the donkeys in there.
And the goats and the sheep And the geese are in the fireplace room.
Good heavens, who's feeding all these animals?
Well, Leah goes over there a couple of times a day, don't you, Leah?
Considering everything you're trying to accomplish, it is going quite well.
Absolutely. The costumes are almost all completed. We've got the straw, the manger, and the rest of the set stacked in Kate's office. And Derek has almost finished hanging the guy wires above the dais for the people playing angels.
Oh, wait, are you lighting a chalice for this? Because I don't think Reverend Kate likes to have straw and flame in the same place.
Don't worry. The Mount Vernon area firefighters say they will have 2 of their trucks in the parking lot just to be on call before the nativity even starts.
Oh, wait, I just got a text from Carolyn White, something about increasing insurance during pageant season for MVUC. I think I better take it. But thank you so much for doing all this. It's going to be great. Happy holidays.
Happy
holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy.
Ho, 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 it's me, Santa Claus. I've got a story for you I wanted to share because you're all Unitarian Universalists. And you understand about using helping hands and loving hearts. Yes, one year we almost had to call off Christmas. But in the end, someone helped me save it. Just the sort of thing a you would do. Now that year, December, had gone pretty much as usual at the North Pole. The elves had worked hard making toys for all the children. Hula hoops were big that year, and lots of children wanted roller skates too. So as we got closer to Christmas Eve, I thought we were in for a lot of excellent Christmas fun. When I woke up that morning and looked out the window, though there was no fluffy snow, there was none of the crisp, clear air or the shiny icicles. Instead, I couldn't see anything. I pulled on my red trousers and went outside to see what was going on. It was fog. It was so foggy, I couldn't see my hand in front of my face. It felt like I was standing inside a cloud. What were we going to do? I really didn't think I could drive the sleigh in all that fog. Feeling my way down the workshop, I ran into Elliot, the elf that took care of the reindeer stables. And I really do mean I ran into him. We couldn't see each other, and our bowl full of jelly bellies bounced off each other. Once we managed to right ourselves, Elliot told me he thought we'd better cancel Christmas. He was worried that the magic sleigh might crash and I might be hurt. That was very nice of him, I thought, but what about the children all over the world who would be expecting me to eat their cookies, or leave a note, or put a gift in their stockings? I just couldn't let them down. We talked it over and decided we'd leave it up to the reindeer. They would be risking a dangerous accident too, and they should help decide. Feeling our way along the fence and then around the reindeer barn, I could hear something in the meadow behind. Elliot, and I walked around the back of the barn, and there was the most amazing sight. There was a big red glow that cut through the heavy fog so I could see everything around it clearly, but with a red tint. There were red trees, red snow on the ground, and the little red reindeer with one red tear sliding down his red cheek. Oh, dear, dear, I asked what the matter was, and he explained that they had been playing reindeer games. During hide and seek, he hid, but nobody ever looked for him. He said he thought it was because he had a bright red nose that lit up, and it was different than any other reindeer nose. I patted him on the head and told him maybe they just couldn't see him if his nose was covered because of all the thick fog. He said, "But how could that be? My red nose cuts through even this fog." I looked at Elliot. Elliot looked back at me, and I turned to the reindeer and he said, "What's your name, son? Won't you guide my sleigh tonight? That nose on yours might be the only thing that can save Christmas." To make a long story short, when we started out that night, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer was at the front of the sleigh, and all the other reindeers were in the harnesses 2 by 2 behind him. I had a long discussion about how bullying was not allowed at the North Pole, and they agreed to follow Rudolph that night as we set off to our Christmas Eve trip. See what I mean? Full of Unitarian Universalist goodwill. And what a trip that was. They even wrote a song about it. I know maybe you can help us sing it. Have you ever heard the extra words? You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose,
like a light bulb.
and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glowed.
Like a lighthouse.
All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names.
Like Pinocchio.
They wouldn't let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games.
Like Monopoly.
Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say,
Ho, ho, ho.
Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then how the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee,
Yippee!
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history.
Like Emerson.
Holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth.
Long lay the world
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
I like blown out candles. I did it. I liked it.
Friends, I hope you have enjoyed our retro pageant, seeing all the wonderful things we've done for pageants over the years. Look forward to our live pageant this year, which has been recorded and will be available here on the YouTube channel soon. Also, I want to invite you again to December 24th to our Christmas Eve service. It's at 5 p.m., both in person and virtual. As you go out into the world, I invite you to take a little bit of the Spirit with you. Enjoy this time, this special time of year. I hope you have a chance to be with the one you love, or at least touch base with them. Our worship has ended, and our service begins. Amen.